all started for me 7 years ago, and I was on a school skiing trip in Italy. I was 9 years old at the time, and it was a week's trip, which unfortunately was cut short to 3 days. And on the third day of the trip, my mum and dad sat at home in sunny Hindley Green, 5 minutes down the road, received a phone call that all parents dread. So they picked up the phone. It was one of the doctors in Italy. They said, we think your Cameron's had a bit of an accident. I think he's broke his left arm. I think he's had an accident skiing. So they probably thought, right, clumsy Cameron, what's he gone and done now, eh? Sent him off to Italy, trusted him at 9 years old, don't know why, and then he's gone and done this. So they put the phone down and thought, right, he'll be okay, the teachers are out there, he's going to be fine. About 5 or 10 minutes later, they get another phone call, same person. We think he might have broken his leg as well. Right, so at this stage, Mum and Dad a little bit worried now, thinking we're going to have to try and get out there to Italy, we're going to have to sort him out. And then 5 or 10 minutes later, they go and get the third and final phone call to say, I've broken my left arm, broken both legs, dislocated both ankles, had them manipulated back together, been in emergency surgery to pin and wire my limbs, and legs are staying together in fixators. I also had a massive bump on my forehead, but other than that, I was fine. Being 9 years old, being sport man, my passion being sport, spending 5 months out of being active, it made me sort of realise how lucky I had been to be able to recover. And doing it in 5 months as well, which well and truly beat the doctor's expectations, shall we say. So back on my feet, it made me want to sort of help other young people, especially those who were disabled, to play sports, because I wasn't able to do that in my wheelchair. And I spoke to a couple of charities, and I wanted to help the local, but I wanted to help Wigan out, get local Wigan kids playing sports, even if they were disabled. What could I do? And I remember sitting in the physiotherapy pool in Wigan. I remember saying to my mum, I said, how do blind people play football? And she said, well, they have sort of a bell and a ball, and they can they could hear the ball and they can play like that, and they have people shout instructions to them. And that little moment sort of inspired me, it made me think, right, I want to be able to provide some specialist sports equipment for young people in the borough. So I set about some fundraising, and the first thing I did was a sponsored walk in Wigan at the Robin Park Arena. And here we can see it being opened by the Mayor of Wigan at the time, and Sven-Göran Eriksson himself. Okay, it wasn't. It was a lookalike from Bolton, but nevertheless, there was about 300, 400 people turn up for the day. Friends, family, people from the general public, and we had an absolute storm of a day. There was a massive raffle which consisted of prizes from celebrities, football teams, rugby teams, even had a signed Coronation Street original script, which I don't know where we got that from, but I hand-wrote loads of letters to lots of people to try and generate the most income possible. On the day, we ended up raising £5,500 for the Wigan Disability Sports Forum, and this money was handed over to the Mayor and the chair of the charity. And I wanted to make sure I knew where this money was going. I didn't want to just hand it over, I wanted to make sure that it made an impact in the borough. And what we used this money for was to fund 2 new sports for disabled kids in the Wigan Borough, and those sports being table cricket and bocce being a Paralympic sport, which some of you might have seen on the television. So I funded for all the facilities, equipment, coaching, so young disabled people could try out and play these 2 new sports and get active. This is me with Seb, and I've got a brilliant story about Sebastian Coe. 7 years ago, wasn't only my sponsored walk, it was the year that we won the Olympics bid. So, me being me, I wrote to Seb Coe, see if he could come to the event originally, which was my first idea. Obviously that never happened. And see if he could sort of give something to the raffle, some signed memorabilia, something like that. So 7 years ago, we won the bid in Singapore, and I remember the first words on this letter was, "Dear Lord of the Rings Coe." My mum must have come up with that one. So I met Seb, and I took this letter down because we knew who was meeting him. We took this letter that I wrote to him 7 years ago, and I showed it him. We got a bit of press with ITV, and I remember the first thing he said to me, he said, "It was a good blooming job I wrote that back to that letter, looking where you are now." So, very thanks to Seb for writing back, and meeting him again at this event was good too. Back to one thought that I'm going to leave you with, and it's about this young man on the picture. Now this message is something that inspires me every time I read it. I really appreciate what you have done in my life, and I thank you for that, because I don't know if I really could have started school without your help. May God bless you for all your kindness, and He be like a blessing to your lives. I am now focusing my attention in education, which I am going to start on Monday. I will send you the admissions forms and letter acquired at the school. May God bless you again for all of your kindness. You really are a godsend, and I love you so much for caring about me and my life. I will use this course to help others in society, and you have proven to me that anything is possible if you believe and work hard. And they are the words of George Owino Wasonga. Thank you.